Good evening, everyone. Here's what's happening. A night of talks between negotiators for the Detroit School Board and the union for striking teachers ended with a glimmer of optimism. The bargaining process had backed into a wall after the board withdrew its cards from the table yesterday. But tonight, there appears to be some movement, and the next play is up to the union. The latest tonight from Channel 7's Mike Huckman.
Just when it looked like the two sides were farther apart than ever, the school board and mediator put two new contract proposals on the table.
We made an agreement, too, not to negotiate in the press. The union has our proposal. There's some things they like about it. There's some things that they don't like about it.
Okay. Teachers Union President John Elliott will now take the proposals to his shop stewards.
I wouldn't say it was progress. We've just been given something to think about, something to work with, and we're going to do that.
But concerned parents who have been keeping vigil outside the negotiating rooms are encouraged.
We've sat here long enough and we can tell by the expression that something good is happening.
But it's taken a long time to get there. The talks are now into their third week, and Elliott says it's the worst negotiations he has ever been through.
It's not what I would call good faith collective bargaining. It's crisis after crisis in bargaining. Which escalates things and I think takes away from the bargaining process.
This is good faith bargaining. We have not done anything that's illegal. We've been up front with our teachers and the teachers union.
At this point, no other talks are scheduled. All sides are just waiting for the teachers union to come back with a counterproposal. In the meantime, they are preparing for a court hearing on Thursday, which could force the teachers back to work. But after tonight's negotiations, many are hoping that that hearing will be unnecessary. In downtown Detroit, Mike Huckman, Channel 7 Action News, reporting.
The strike doesn't stop bills from rolling in, and teachers are feeling the financial pinch. After 2 weeks on the picket line, many of them were forced to line up outside their credit union today for strike loans. They're eligible for $500, which must be paid back when they return to work. In other districts tonight, teachers remain on strike in Taylor and Inkster. Negotiations in Taylor are scheduled to resume on Wednesday. And special education teachers in western Wayne County went on strike today in a dispute over wages and staff assignments. Southgate remains on the critical list tonight, which means a strike is possible. And teachers in Oak Park have agreed to work without a contract while negotiators try to talk out a deal. Mike?
Well, Diana, the other big story, a young father from Detroit, grief-stricken tonight as he sits behind bars for the shooting death of his own 9-day-old son. 23-year-old Omar Dean cried throughout a court hearing today where he was charged with murder. Police say he fired the fatal shot to his son's head during an argument with the child's mother, Lisa Bellman, early Sunday morning. Dean's family insists the shooting was an accident. They argue the young man shouldn't have to face charges because he's suffering enough already.
That's my son, and I know him very well. He loved that baby, you know, just like I love him, you know, to haul off and shoot a baby, because he's about to lose his mind in there. Well, I'm, you know, way on the phone talking to me when they do let him call.
He's not going to last like that. He's going to either do something to hurt himself or because he can't stand under that pressure.
Now, Dean claims there was a struggle between him and Bellman when the gun went off, but police don't buy that story, and she is not expected to be charged in the case. Diana?
Natural disasters this year are breaking the bank at the Federal Emergency Management Agency. It's halting payments tonight to certain disaster areas until Congress provides more money. But Kauai isn't one of them. The Hawaiian island is getting much of the agency's attention in the wake of Hurricane Iniki. Federal officials estimate about half the island's 21,000 homes are badly damaged or destroyed. 90% of the utility poles are down. It could be months before all power is restored. And 2,000 tourists are desperately trying to leave the devastation behind. Lines are very long for emergency flights out of a paradise lost.
We were sent to a shelter. We were sleeping in water. We were ankle deep in water, and it was pretty scary apart from that.
No food, no water, no electric, no nothing, and contaminated water. It's been awful.
We're camping indoors. Propane stove. It's amazing how you can learn to live without a lot of stuff.
The Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, has responded to the desperate need in Kauai much faster than it did in Florida and Louisiana after Hurricane Andrew blew through. The director says the agency learned from its mistakes.
One of the reasons why this is moving more smoothly at this time is that if you practice the same thing 3 times in a week, you get better at it.
Before Andrew hit 3 weeks ago, FEMA had more than $400 million. Now it's down to about $50 million. Until there is more funding, payments are being stopped to Los Angeles, which was hit by rioting in the spring, and other places in northern and central California where forest fires caused destruction this summer. A storm of controversy brewing tonight in the presidential race. The two candidates are debating about how and when to debate. George Bush says he will face off with Bill Clinton, but only if he accepts the same terms as 1988, which call for 2 debates with 3 panelists. But Clinton believes a new election deserves a new format, and he refuses to negotiate terms directly with the Bush campaign. Clinton has agreed to debate on September 22nd in East Lansing using a single moderator. But Bush isn't happy with the proposal. The new setting would be more personal and conversational and is considered more likely to cast Clinton in a favorable light. Mike?
Well, tonight dozens of local moviegoers got a chance to view a special sneak preview of a film shot entirely in Detroit. Zebrahead is the powerful story of 6 high school teens torn apart by an interracial relationship between a black girl and white boy. When the film ended, the audience got a chance to share how the film affected them.
This young man killed another black guy, and it leaves you with the impression that nothing happened to this person.
I think it's so clear emotionally that it's a crime and that it's a tragedy.
It's an unusual post-movie setting. The audience, the director, and leading lady discussing the story and message behind Zebrahead. Shot entirely on location on the streets of Detroit.
The idea was for the audience to just appreciate the diversity of opinion and emotion that it makes up our lives. But I do think that in cities like Detroit and New York, perhaps all the major cities across the country, we as a people need to learn to live together or die, I suppose.
Actress Nabushe Wright plays 17-year-old Nikki in the film. She's involved in a biracial relationship, the focus and the friction in this picture. It's something the actress lived in real life on the streets of Brooklyn.
My mother in Zebrahead was very similar to my father in real life. He made it very well known that
he was against it?
He was against it, yeah, and it was very painful.
Movie clips aren't available to the press yet, but the $2 million Oliver Stone production received rave reviews at the Toronto Film Festival. Moviegoers here agree.
It not only explained about like the black and white relationships like in high school of, you know, going out and falling in love, and it also had just of the friendships between, you know, people just regardless of the race, creed, or color. It was a really good movie.
Very good film. Zebrahead opens in Detroit and 9 other cities on October 23rd. Diana?
Delivering pizzas in Metro Detroit has become a dangerous game. We'll tell you why some delivery workers are risking their lives on the job. Plus, Queen Elizabeth may be in for a royal pay cut, and her relatives may also be cut from the payroll. And many people do it to improve their looks, but others say it's gone too far and is downright disturbing. Those stories and more when the update continues.
Okay, 7, you've made my morning. Now make me some money.
We will, with 7's Money in the Morning contest. Winning is easy. Watch Company with John and Marilyn at 9, Regis and Kathy Lee at 10, and Jenny Jones at 11. During each show, you'll see one word of a 3-word phrase. When you have all 3 words, call 298-7900. The 77th caller with the correct phrase could instantly win $7,000 cash. Make your mornings when 7 makes you money every day, all this week on 7.
Today with afternoon high temperatures expected to soar to the upper 90s for the 5th day in a row. I'm leaving town, folks. It's going to be a blistering record high 103 degrees.
Nissan would like to remind you that right now you could lease a 4-door, 4-wheel drive Pathfinder for just $299 a month. And that winter will be here sooner than you think. Test drive a Pathfinder now at your nearest Nissan dealer.
What's all this noise about low prices? You know that place that says cuts the best deal? In bankruptcy. And the better place? They're not going to give you a lifetime guarantee, but ABC beats any deal, or they'll pay you $1,000. Now, with that hanging over their heads, you think they're not going to make you happy? They'll stand on their heads to give you the best deal.
Get this Whirlpool 5-function large capacity washer with heavy-duty motor, just $227 or less.
Pay retail, forget about it. Bada boom, bada bing.
ABC Warehouse, the closest thing to wholesale.
They pack more than pizzas. Some people in the delivery business tonight are toting guns to protect themselves against robbers. One driver for Bob's Pizza on the west side of Detroit is off the hook on criminal charges for shooting and wounding a 16-year-old boy. The Wayne County Prosecutor's Office today refused to issue a warrant against the man. He says a group of teens surrounded him with a baseball bat on Sunderland Street. He fired several shots. One of them struck 16-year-old Tony Blunt. But prosecutors apparently believe the delivery man acted in self-defense. One driver we talked to today could easily identify with that situation. He's been robbed 3 times in the last 3 months.
Just really flashed me back to when I was being robbed. And I started strongly relating myself on how the driver actually felt at the time when he took his precautions, that he wanted that he shot. I myself, if I was able to carry a gun, I might have done the same thing.
Drivers for Domino's are told not to wear anything valuable on the job. They're also instructed to avoid dark porches, houses surrounded by trees and bushes where robbers could hide. And they're not supposed to carry more than $15 in cash. Right?
Well, the old Hudson's building in downtown Detroit may be the site of federal offices, and that could mean a big financial boost for the city. Secretary of State Richard Cheney came to town today to look at the vacant landmark. The Pentagon is planning on setting up 5 finance and accounting centers, and Detroit apparently is one of 100 cities submitting bids for the regional office facilities. Each center will produce 4,000 to 7,000 jobs. The royal family may be taking a royal pay cut tonight. The British press reporting that Queen Elizabeth may be considering giving up her tax-exempt status and cutting some family members from the government payroll. This could mean a pay cut in the Queen's $14.9 million a year civil fund. The recession and reports of marital troubles among the Queen's children has recently raised questions about how many relatives should be on the Queen's payroll. Diana?
Words of praise tonight for the astronauts aboard the Space Shuttle Endeavour. The research mission that began Saturday involves flipping fertilized chicken and frog eggs, as well as monitoring brain waves of fish. It won't be known until after the flight exactly how many eggs were fertilized and how many will hatch into tadpoles.
Tell you what, the summer weather that eluded us is finally ready to settle in here for a while. Channel 7's Rob Kress will let us know just what to expect with Detroit's most accurate forecast. Plus, look at this. Tattoos are one way to express yourself, but some say another fad is going, let's just say, too far. That story and more. We'll be right back.
I could get a better-looking black woman than a white woman.
He refuses to date his own race, and he's not alone.
You can pretty much do what you want to do with a white woman, you know, and get away with it.
I have dated white men. They don't satisfy me.
The best sex I ever had was with a black woman. Now, the first time I truly made love was with a white woman.
What's going on here is the jungle fever thing.
No, this is not the jungle fever thing, sweetheart.
People who refuse to date their own race on the next Oprah.
Oprah, weekdays at 4 on 7.
For so long, government has failed us, and one of its worst failures has been welfare. I have a plan to end welfare as we know it, to break the cycle of welfare dependency. We'll provide education, job training, and child care. But then those who are able must go to work, either in the private sector or in public service. I know it can work. In my state, we've moved 17,000 people from welfare rolls to payrolls. It's time to make welfare what it should be, a second chance, not a way of life.
It's the Dodge factory authorized clearance. Get up to $34.33 total savings on Dakota. Dakota 4x4 Club Cab, four-wheelers pickup of the year. With an available new Magnum V8, it can outhaul, out-tow any comparable Ford, Chevy, or import compact. See the Dodge dealer nearest you for the new Dodge you'll want to put in your garage.
The world is at peace at 3 o'clock in the morning, and so I wake up peaceful. My mission is to shake off the morning blues. I love the morning.
Hey, good morning, Detroit.
I want to get people started on the right foot in the morning. Great part about my job, I never know from one day to the next what I'm going to be doing. What's it been, 20 years of mornings? Yeah, maybe folks are getting used to me by now.
Eric Smith, weekday mornings on 7.